10 life insurance agents flew across the country to ask me how to scale their business past 6 figures a year in profits. What I'm going to be showing you guys in this video, a complete raw recording of the mastermind that I hosted a few months back in May. And what we're going to be covering in this video is how do you prevent social and banking objections? How do you make sure you master the inputs consistently so you can get the outputs? And also we're going to be talking about building a personal brand so you can start attracting agents to you so you can start growing your agency. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Like problems here, I'm just gonna write them down, like what each of you guys want to get out of this next hour and a half or however long we do this, because I want you guys to go and make money. Like I want this to be your biggest month. When we look back on June 18th, like I want this to be your biggest month. So it is a volume thing, 100%, because yes, you can 100% you could get better at that, right? What's your closing ratio right now? As far as from when you present to somebody to when you close?
I think the last time I checked the track is like 30%.
That could get better, 100%. And is the biggest objection that you're getting is banking?
Yeah. But I can get like social like easy, smooth. Like when I just get to banking, everything just like crumbles.
So, what do they say usually?
Like I'm not too comfortable. See, like that's the main thing that pisses me off. Like, how are you not comfortable giving your banking, but socials all silly willy? Like, come on now. But like, yeah, that's the main thing. I'm not comfortable, or they just don't have it. You know, like just.
Can we hear what you say?
Yeah. So like.
So when you're going, yeah. So when you're going into banking.
So I'm like, perfect, Johnny. All right, let me recollect my thoughts.
Yeah, you got to get into character. Go ahead.
Okay, Johnny, so the last thing the life insurance company needs to verify is you have to make sure that you do have funds available and that you're not trying to commit any insurance fraud and take any insurance out in anyone else's name. So what's the name of the bank you bank with again?
Ooh. Where did you get that?
Yeah. Quit listening to Adam. Fraud?
Yeah.
Don't listen
You're
to
saying
that.
like
a lot of trigger words.
Hold the mic to your face. But dude, where did you? Am I allowed to talk? Is this because we're recording?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Where the hell did you get that?
Adam.
Who's Adam?
Kapitchka.
Yeah.
Adam in the group.
Does Adam have a high closing ratio or does he have a lower closing ratio?
Me?
Just in general.
Okay.
He's maybe, hold on, let me finish. He's maybe at like, if I was just looking at his numbers, maybe at like a 50 to, like, he's not like 80. We want you guys at 80% closing ratios. I'm at an 86 closing ratio. So that, in my opinion, was garbage. Why? Because you said the word fraud. What else?
Checking funds.
Checking funds. Like, why would you even say the word fraud? Just very, very simple. We'll be setting this up through our bank service plan. Who do you bank with?
Okay.
But there's a difference too, because like
Here, pass the mic real quick.
the reason Adam gets away with that, like the reason he gets away with it is because his whole entire presentation, he's like joking and saying like different stuff. Like that's just his like attitude, right? It's like that won't work for me. It probably won't work for you. Definitely
not
wouldn't
work
work
for
for
me.
Max.
God,
You
no.
know, so it's like that's why we always say it. It's like stick to like what the game plan is and like don't take pieces here and there, because then it's like it's really hard to get consistent, stuff. So
I don't really explain why I'm getting banking unless I get an objection or they ask me what it's for. Yeah, no transaction of money today, but what they are going to do is make sure this is an account that receives government benefits. I'll get a green check mark or red X mark there. But that way we also don't ever have to set up banking again. We just make the necessary change if one is necessary. Right.
Okay, I gotta say something again. So I think the challenge is that I don't know why everyone's changing the script on such critical parts. So the biggest hurdles that we need to face when you're actually taking the application is social banking. We all agree?
Agreed.
Where are most people gonna hang up on you? Social banking.
Yep.
So Christian, I'm not saying what you said is bad. If it works for you, great. But the challenge is we want to avoid getting hung up on, especially when we get to banking that far. So can I ask you guys why you're changing things so much? Because I rarely get hung up on banking. Like I don't get banking or social objections. The main times I get no sales is logistical. they can't figure out the signature, or maybe it takes too long, or their phone dies and I can't get a hold of them. Like, those are typically my, like, if I present numbers to someone, that's what we're running into. But the challenge is I'm seeing people do like quite a bit of activity, which is very impressive, but they're saying, oh, look, I'm getting a social error, a bad objection, or I'm getting a banking objection. It's like, well, if you guys are saying, if you're not saying what you're supposed to say in the correct way, I think you're really putting yourselves at risk. And I know, like, and I know it's upsetting for you guys, say, if, like, you know, you're not getting the results you want, so it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that. It's like, no, just get really good at saying it the right way. And you have to go through that suck, but we'll teach you how to do that. But it's if you say it correctly, guys, you're not gonna get that. But
Yeah.
I don't know why everyone's changing it. Just
Yeah, so to your point, it's like if you have a mentor or whoever it is, like follow one person. The mistake a lot of people make, and I made this a lot. This is why I can speak on this, is I listen to too many voices. You guys have to narrow down who you listen to, whether it's YouTube stuff, whether it's like whatever it is, even people inside the community, right? Narrow down who you listen to and say whatever they say, I'm going to do until I get to their spot. And then I'm going to add stuff and whatever it is. Until then, I'm going to execute the exact playbook to be able to get there. So like, it's like that's what I would say. It's going to be in your best interest. And that's when I really started growing and like doing really well, is listening to one or two, maybe two people, and that's it. Right? So like, there's a lot of good YouTube content out there, but everybody's going to have their different philosophies. And honestly, it was so frustrating to me because it's like, there's so many different ways to get rich. There's a million ways to get rich in this business, which is awesome. But the only way that you actually make money is the one way that you do it. So you have to narrow down who you listen to, who you actually are going to like listen to, as like even YouTube content. Like, that's influential, right? So like, you have to be careful what you're putting into your mind, because if you don't, you're just gonna be fed so much bad stuff that like is not great. And so like, I would listen to so many podcasts, so many different channels, so like all these things, and I was like, they all say the banking stuff differently. And so every time I'm trying something new, when it's like, I'm not able to figure out and have real data if something is working or it's not working. So I think it's just a matter of finding somebody, do exactly like what the blueprint laid out is, whether it's me or whoever else, do that until you get to at least their spot, and then change it or anything like that.
Yeah, I definitely think like riches are in the niches too. So it's like, just like you're talking about with like people you watch on YouTube, whatever, like people who come to this business, and like, it's funny because I talk to a ton of agents, and the ones that always go like, I'm like, what do you specialize in? They go like, oh, I do final expense, term, mortgage protection, I dabble in IULs, I've wrote a few annuities. Those are always the brokest people, every time.
Yep.
Every single time. They think they're gonna be an expert on everything, they have to learn every angle of the business. Like, the ones that are just like, hey, I do mortgage protection, or I do final expense, or I just do IULs. Those are the ones that make the most money. And it's the same thing with scripting. Like, top producers, everybody who is decent in the business, they're not changing up their script. You know what I mean? It's the same thing every time, it's just repetitive and consistency.
Yeah. So I think like definitely get into a one product, one niche, whatever, and just make money there, and then start adding on. Because how I looked at it is like, especially you guys wanting to grow a team, like at some point, whether that's now or a year or 10 years from now, you got to think of like, what is going to be scalable at some point, right? And is selling annuities scalable? Could or couldn't. Is selling final expense? Yes or no? Like, it's, you got to think through that as well, and like really like, yeah, niche down, and like, because if you want to be the best, you can't do a lot. You have to be focused on one thing, because it's really hard to be good, and that's something that I've really had to learn.
Can I add something to this?
Yeah.
Banking? So when I'm new, when I first started, I went all over the place with banking, and I was getting crapped on. And honestly, where the heck is Max? Max chewed me out a little bit. He's like, this is a script, do the script. And it's magic. We're gonna set you up on Mutual of Omaha's bank service plan here. What bank do you typically use? Like, that word track is beautiful. Oh wow, it seems like all my clients here in Texas are using them. It actually auto-populates the routing number as 12345. Can you just double check that for me? Boom. Like, since I've been doing that, I know why he's getting 80% close rate. And
Yeah,
that's like the
baby.
main thing. And I've been practicing.
And yeah, no, it sounds very good. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah. But I just wanted to hit that pitch. Banking is so beautiful to ask.
What I like to say too is,
Oh, just tough.
so I think the challenge is that anytime you change something, especially in a script and especially in like a high stress part of the script, it's like, oh god, the banking's coming up. Like, it's scary, right? But it's only scary if you don't have confidence saying it. And how do you get confidence saying it, Mr. Devin? Is by saying it over and over and over again and having success with it.
Yeah.
So if Mr. Harry here is relatively new and he's actually, really starting to gain momentum, there's no reason why you can't, but I'm just gonna highly recommend that you don't keep changing things, my man. Like, it's just you're really shooting yourself in the foot there. So what's good is that we're all saying it and we're all seeing consistent results. If I was the only one saying it, everyone else is saying it and they weren't getting results, then I would say, okay, maybe this isn't universal, but I think, we're all somewhat saying the same thing except for this guy. So try to go back to that, Devin, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, bro. And you got it. And one thing I want to really lift you up on, dude, is you're doing the work and doing the activity. And just stay consistent with that, bro, because right now you have the waterfall effect, bro. It's it's crazy. So I think keep doing that and don't ease off the brakes right now. Step on the gas. When we leave here, bro, step on the gas and really continue that on and do that consistently. And don't just do it one day and let your feelings play into it. No, go out and set a daily routine, daily inputs, daily commitments that are non-negotiables for you. Every day, 8 a.m., I'm on the phones, Monday through Friday, Saturdays if you need to. Whatever you got to do it, go ahead and do that. What I would do is now you have aged leads. I would start up an aged leads campaign, texting campaign, a re-engagement campaign, and just send a simple text out hey, first name. I can make a Loom video on how to do this, but pretty much hey, first name. For some reason, I'm so sorry it's taken so long to reach back out to you. Your file's still open here. Did you end up going with Mutual of Omaha, Aetna, or Foresters, ? And they say no. Oh my gosh, okay, great. I'm gonna actually give you a call just to make sure we get you the cheapest rates. And then go into a presentation there, or something along those lines, right? So we should get a re-engagement campaign going for you because you're working age leads.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Christian, what's up, dude?
If I could just say a problem I've been facing.
All right, let's do it.
Some days I and it's definitely not every day, but I'll have an issue with just the business type of work I need to do.
Like what?
Already on the books, right? Yeah, and it just takes up a majority of my day, and then that day I just end up not doing a ton of dialing, and I just kind of feel unaccomplished.
So walk me through a little bit. So what specifically?
So for example, I've had 3 policies canceled so far, and each one of those days I got a text message. I called them, trying to get them back on the books. It didn't happen, right? One of them I actually talked to, and he was just I can't do it. But each one of those I did have to call the carrier, do that, edit my my tracking sheet, and then it just takes up a majority of my day, it feels like. And majority of my day, 2 hours before 12, that's a super important time to be dialing and putting work in,
Yeah. So is it just pretty much getting people back on the books?
It hasn't truly been a major problem for me, people dropping off. But I mean, another person, for example, that I had to get back on the books dropped off because he had a violation of 11 months instead of 12 months since he got his last policy with the same company.
Oh, I remember that.
It took me all day. right? And then he had another call back because they mailed his stuff to the primary address, not the PO box, right? So I had to figure that out too. And that just took up a lot of my day. I just wonder how you guys kind of manage that. Like, when is admin work and when is sales?
Sales first right now, 100%. And also, did you get an email and you called them? Like, you got an email and you're like, I need to fix this right now?
It's been primarily people texting me.
So they text you and say what?
The ones that canceled, like, whatever excuse.
So then, so if they cancel, what do? Do you go ahead and three-way AIG and cancel the policy?
No, so 2 of them, I was just like, you know, tell me if you need to make any necessary changes. When they like texted me that, 2 of them didn't answer, and I just called the company and was like, I got everything set up to cancel, I guess. But is that not
Okay.
what I'm supposed to do?
I mean, one, it's humiliating to do that.
Yeah, it's so horrible.
But what I would say honestly is, I don't call with them to cancel.
Really?
No, I give them the number. I'm like, here's the number. If you have any further questions, let me know. Dude, you're already losing money.
Oh
It's
my
like you're not gonna lose more money.
I'm not supposed to be doing that?
No, dude. Like, I thought so too, but it's like, bro, like, maybe it's an ego thing, maybe it's not, but I think it makes most business sense. If you're gonna lose money and you're gonna get a chargeback, I'm not gonna help you cancel it. I'm not gonna help you lose me money. So I'm gonna say, here's the number, here's their phone number. Let me know if you have any further questions or if anything else changes. Happy to help. Have a great day.
Okay, so I'm never calling the carrier again.
Christian, are you trying to save policies too?
Yeah, like
You don't-
when they text me something like that, I'm like, hey, I thought you needed this for your sister. Like, what changed? Yeah, I get you in a tough spot. Is it worth the squeeze? Right? So like that type of thing.
But like, you do call the carriers, but you don't call to cancel your own policies.
Yes. Like I canceled policy. No? Yeah.
So yeah, you're never doing that again.
Yeah. Never again.
Never again. No.
My bad.
I mean,
I shot myself.
that's it. No, and that's a valid thing. But like, I try to save it. I'd get them on the phone, try to save it. But if not, cool. No worries. Here's the phone number. I'm happy to help moving forward if you ever need anything in the future. I hope you have an amazing day. Here's the phone number, and let me know if you have any other further questions.
Okay.
And then give them the phone number. And then like, if they ask like, okay, what extension, like I might call and be like, call and figure out what extension it's gonna be, and that's it. But like, honestly, they're pretty self-explanatory.
Right.
And like, I'm not gonna like, personally, I'm just not gonna help them cancel a policy.
Yeah, and I felt like I was doing work to lose me money. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it just doesn't feel good.
Yeah,
either.
so-
And they ask for one, if you're on hold for a while, that sucks, right? But then there's like the policy number, and the information they ask of why. But
Yeah.
but yeah, and it really hurts your heart too, like having to call and say that, to the carrier. I'm never doing that again. Thank you.
Yeah. Don't call. Tell them what to do though. Like, definitely be helpful. Like that, I think that's goodwill. But I'm not gonna like go like 10 extra steps to call and waste like time, energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just.
The harder you make it though, sometimes they might that's real quick, but sometimes they just might not do it. Like I've had that happen like twice.
You just create the
they were
friction.
Like, hey, I want to cancel my policy. Like, can you cancel it? I'm like, no, I personally can't act on your behalf. Like, here's their number though. And then that's it. That's all I know.
Tell them to write a note, sign
all
it,
I
do
did.
it. Text it to me so I can email it to new business. Some carriers make you do that.
It's actually super hard to cancel with them. Like, I'm really sorry I did this to you, but you're gonna have to like.
Well, there's carriers that are like that. The client calls, cancels the policy, and then drafts still.
We're at least gonna get 2 more drafts before I apologize.
We have a 9-month clause that you have to give us 9 months of notice to cancel the policy.
Adjustments, not you can cancel.
Like increase or decrease, or like
You could actually only increase.
Yeah, that's good though. I'm glad that you said that. I do want to touch on something though, that will really help you, and I think all of us, is turning off notifications on certain things. So like, actually deleted Slack from my phone. I have emails, but I turned off my email notifications on my phone. So like when I'm out, like I want to be present, and like when I'm working, I want to work. With that being said, also, if you're dialing, you're like, dude, I'm ready, I'm going, I did my morning routine, my headspace is good, I'm dialed in, ready to go. And bro, you get to that spot and you get an email that says you got a chargeback or something. Dude, like that's gonna affect your day. That's gonna affect your dialing. You guys have to optimize for quality work. So how do you create quality work? You got to get in some sort of flow state that like you're able to eliminate all other distractions besides what you're trying to do and accomplish, which is go out and sell policies, and then have a dedicated time after 12 or 11, whatever it is. Have a dedicated time to go and do that, because 99% of the time, it's probably going to be bad news when you check your email. It's like maybe some good news here or there, maybe, right? So it's like you have to set yourself up for success in that regard. To, hey, I'm going to go out and I'm going to work, and then I'm going to set time aside to do the admin work. I know Max, you do that. You time block really well and optimize for that really good.
Yeah, like absolutely. So, the challenge is, guys, is that we need to like really focus on like getting as much time on task or talk time, whatever you want to call it. But the worst thing, guys, is I see a lot of people, and now I have an agent now, so I'm on Slack more than I usually am. But like when I'm dialing, I don't have Slack open. I don't have Gmail open. My phone is on focus mode. The only text message I could get is I can only get text messages. I can't get any social media, or I could get calls from my phone or notifications from Lead Connector. That is it. No Slack, no nothing. I can't get any form of notification.
Slack just to post sales.
Slack just to post sales, right? And then I'll typically only go on after I've made a sale or after I've made 2 sales, because it's like we don't have time to keep getting distracted, and it breaks your focus. Right?
Yeah.
You need to build that focus momentum and get into that flow state. Dial, and that's how you really focus. Like anytime I've had a really good week, guys, I'm spending minimal time on Slack. So I'd encourage you guys to perhaps maybe close Slack, close Gmail until halfway through the day after you've made a sale. And that's very, very important.
Getting those first few sales are really, really, really important every single day. And that's like the number one thing you guys can do to drive the business forward. And obviously it makes you money. And making money right now is like the number one thing you guys can do. So that's good. I'm glad we touched on that. What I want.
Can I have one more thing for Christian when he's like talking
Yeah,
about
for sure.
services? Because now he's selling more, so now he has to manage his book. Which
Yes.
dedicate 30 minutes a day to it. If you don't get to it, they're gonna have to wait. Straight up. You know when people call me trying to tell me they need to do stuff? It's like, okay, well.
Nothing's an emergency.
It's unless it's a death claim. But like other than that, for that they're gonna have to wait too. You think you can get a death claim like this?
No.
No, they have to wait for the county to get the death certificate. Then they send it to the carrier. Then there's a 2-week delay typically. So trust me, these people are gonna have to wait. So what I do is from to Eastern, so from 4 to 5, there's typically a 30-minute or an hour block every day. Besides that, it's income producing activity. So I'd like to be, right?
Yep.
I get sometimes things happen, but you can't have it scattered. And if you don't finish it within that hour, okay, then you're gonna have to wait. Then we do it the next day.
Even on your point too, though, like whenever your book's small like that, you don't even need 30 minutes a day.
No,
Like you
no.
really need like 2 days a week.
You could email them.
And
too.
like it really, I'm telling you, it's not gonna make a difference if like you do, if you work your book on like Wednesday and you don't do it again until like Monday, like nobody's gonna like lose their lid.
So with that, are you guys giving clients your personal phone number?
No, don't do that.
Okay, so that's a big mistake too that I'm doing.
I did that, made that mistake. Don't do it again.
Why is it a mistake? Because I do that too.
Dude, when you sell enough, you're not gonna want them blowing up your phone.
So what?
I give them the CRM number.
CRM number. Yeah.
And then also it's like it's categorized, because it's like I don't know who's calling me. Like it's like, is this an agent? Is this a client? Is this like a random
And plus, what's
friend?
gonna happen is like you're gonna answer the phone and you're gonna be on like a date with your lady and she's gonna be like, I want to cancel this policy. I need to change my beneficiary. Like, it's always some bullshit. We're at the most inconvenient time.
I mean, dude, I got triple dialed Sunday morning, like at 5 a.m.
That was me. I was texting Pixie. I was like, did that come up as spam?
Johnny, can you check my number real quick? All right, that's good. I want to touch on something, touch on this real quick. And then we're going to do a personal branding thing, just a few minutes, Q&A. So, yeah, from when the client signs the policy to actually money in your account, what does that look like? So here's the process, super simple. A couple things. When you're wrapping up the policy, make sure they get it's approved on the first call. Once it does get approved, to promise close, then set expectations. I'm going to add this part to the script. Very simple. Hey, because the way that you build trust consistently and you build a relationship is you set expectations, meet expectations, set expectations, meet expectations. And they don't have to be high. You don't have to promise the moon. It's very, very, very simple. So what you say is, hey, so good news, you got the policy here in the mail, or we're gonna be sending the policy out here soon. In the meantime, though, you did get approved. Write down all the info of the policy, the info, the effective date, day one coverage, so on and so forth. Right, level premium, face amount, everything like that. You have them write that down, and then what you do is you have a send out card go out to them. From the send out card, you just say, hey, I have a small token of appreciation that I'm sending out to you. Be expecting that in the mail in the next 2 to 3 days. They're very quick. You want something tangible in their hand before the policy gets there. Some carriers won't even send the policy out to them until like 7 days after the actual effective date of the policy. So like the payment, say for example, right, today's the 18th. Imagine on the 18th, the first payment's on the 3rd. So it's been 2 to 3 weeks. The payment drafts, they look at their account. Oh shoot, the money got taken out and I still have nothing in my hand. Like, dude, they're gonna be like, is this real? Was this a scam? Like, what's going on? So what you do is you set those low expectations. Hey, you're gonna be getting something in the mail. In that send out card, it's just pretty much like going over what you guys talked about, thanking them for their business, and be expecting your policy in the mail here in the next 7 to 10 days. Also having the texting automations go out, that comes in the CRM and Agent AI. So that's really like how you do that, and you just wanna set expectations, meet expectations each time. So that's really like what that looks like. Now, if it doesn't get if it does get approved and the carrier pays on draft or pays on whatever, what I'd be doing is, or if it didn't get approved and maybe it goes to underwriting, what I would do the next day is call the carrier and confirm they got the policy. Hey, I just want to confirm that you did get the application that we sent over yesterday for XYZ name. Okay, great. And then you say this, is there anything I can do to be able to get this policy issued today? No? Okay, great. Call them again the next day. And you have that's why in the submitted business tracker, it's important to have there's the notes tab, there's did you get paid on it, did it issue, so on and so forth. So you can figure out, you can keep track of your book there, and you either call them once a day during that 30-minute time, or you call them twice a week or whatever it is, and you're following up on those people because you guys need to get paid. And there might be a pending requirement that this carrier has that they didn't notify you of, and you wouldn't know that, and you're not getting paid because this pending requirement that might be pretty simple. And you wouldn't know that if you didn't call. So calling the carriers on your book is really important. So having go from there to actually paid.
I want to touch on something real quick, dude. Right after I would finish the application, I would always reinforce that they made a good decision. So it's at the very end of my call, I'd say Miss Betty, you're gonna be getting that policy in the mail in probably the next 2 to 3 weeks. I want you to want to make sure that you keep an eye out for that. And as soon as you get it, I want you to open up that folder and write my name and number on the inside. Okay. And the second thing I want you to do is put that policy in a super safe place. The last thing I want to happen is, you know, God forbid something happens to you and your daughter's searching around. She doesn't even know you have a life insurance policy. She doesn't know where to find it. She doesn't know who to call. And she's scrambling around. Like, make sure you let your daughter know where you put this policy so when that God-forsaken day does come, like, she knows who to call, she knows where it's at, everything will be taken care of. And it's just like, I started doing this, it didn't raise it a ton, but it did raise my persistency, like, maybe 10-15%. But it was like, instead of just writing the app and then just being like, oh yeah, awesome, make sure you get that in the mail, like I'm sending you a card, and then hopping off the phone, it was like, I would just reinforce what we did was like a super good thing to protect your family.
Yep.
Like one last time.
Yeah.
I really like how you worded that.
Yeah. That's good. All right. Let's hop into a quick Q&A, Chris. Where should you sit? You want to just sit right there? Okay, cool. I know that you guys are going to be building brands at some point, and some of you guys are wanting to start now. So I wanted to go into a little bit of like what that actually looks like, to be able to do that. So let's talk about, okay, so if they're not selling stuff, their goal is to recruit right now.
Yeah.
Let's optimize Instagram. Like, what should bio look like, or like talk about, and like kind of like feed maybe look like a little bit.
Yeah, so for one, like the Instagram bio, that's like one of the biggest things for when people land on your page, because that's when they know that like that's what you're doing. So make it very clear what you're doing, or like what you're recruiting, selling, etc. So in mine, it's I sell digital products. Like, get my freebies down below with like a call to action link, and that link goes to my website. For you guys, I don't know what that looks like.
I would just do, for you guys, I would do like a free training, or I'd be like do something and just like, here's a breakdown of how you go through the whole presentation, or here's a breakdown of like, here's a sales call, or like whatever it is. Like, I would just, that's your lead magnet, and just point them towards that, because that's goodwill. And then Instagram, your profile is like, that's your business card in 2024 is your profile. Before anybody checks, like starts officially wanting to work with you, if you've never met them, they're gonna look you up. They're gonna go on social media and see you.
Yeah, and I would say definitely. So like, I do 3 lines. So the first line is like your social proof, what you've accomplished, how many people you've helped. That's probably what I would do for you guys. Second line, sort of like what you do exactly. Third line, your call to action. So that's super simple. Convert those profile visits into follows. That's what you really, really want. And then get really good profile photos. So I don't know how many of you guys have a good one right now. Like, just invest into it. Go get like a photographer for like $100 an hour. Not that expensive. So that's the biggest thing.
What kind of like headshots should somebody get?
I would say casual, because like too professional kind of turns me off. It kind of feels like a scam in a way. Because I'm like, just like a high school photo or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like some kid straight from like the corporate office, which for you guys, I don't know if that works. You know what I mean? If it works, it works.
That's what I did for a while. But it's just so like, it speaks life insurance, and I kind of wanted to like be like, oh dude, this guy kind of looks cool, and he does life insurance.
Okay. Yeah, so I'd do like a mix of it. Like,
I would do a personal for sure. But like, what kind of like, is it just a straight headshot, or like should it be looking a certain way, or like direct to camera, or how, like, does that make sense?
That's all personal preference. Like, at the end of the day, there's really no right way of doing it, as long as it's you, I guess. Just pick whatever feels most like you. So for you guys, keep it professional. Just maybe look straight at the camera, maybe a little bit of like a tilt. Like for me, I think it's just a side profile shot, just because that's what I like. It looks, I don't know, creative.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I would do for the Instagram profile optimization. And then if you guys want to get creative, like make your feed look good, you guys could either do like a lifestyle feed, or you guys could do the second style, which is like kind of what I do. I have like a grid layout, which is like a checkerboard. So I do one with text, and I do one of like photos, because I like to do photography in my free time. So that's what I do. Like, kind of distinguish myself from everyone else. So
That's good. For people wanting to really start building a following, what's kind of your thought process on shorts and longs, like shorts and like long YouTube videos, and like what helps somebody like actually start trusting you versus like other people?
So recently, I've actually been changing my philosophy. Beginning of the year, I thought short form was like the way to go, because I've been around social funnel for so long. I was like, okay, Instagram. But If you want conversions, you want people to trust you, and the easiest way for people to trust you is to like watch more of you. And for them to watch more reels, it's kind of like they have to one, find you on the reel feed, which is kind of hard. They have to click your profile and then scroll through, which I don't ever do that. I don't know if you guys do that. You guys might for like one person, but it's not really normal to do so. Whereas you can get the same amount of watch time in one YouTube video in one click. So it kind of just makes sense to go onto the YouTube and build that trust there.
How do you organically build your following on YouTube?
Dude, just solving problems. Like, that's what I'm doing. I'm just editing tutorials because
So-
that's what I want to do.
Okay, so walk us through your thought process on like, you obviously are in a very different niche,
Yeah,
but the
100%.
concepts, the concepts still remain true. So like, when you're doing that, like, how did you come to the conclusion that I need to do tutorials? Like, were you thinking about your dream your customer, and you're like, this is what they would want, or what was your
Yeah.
thought process?
I mean, because I thought about it like when I first got into the scene, what was I looking at? And like, I developed this trust with like these certain editors because I knew like, oh, okay, they're ahead of me in the race. They know exactly what they're doing. I'm gonna learn from them. And if they're pushing me a product that they created, then it's like, okay, like I want to buy from them because I just trust them. So it's the same concept with you guys. Like, if you guys are teaching other people how to get into the scene, then like, okay, like I want to do business with him because like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Same principle.
Yeah, that's good. Like, think about when you just got into life insurance, like, what things were you watching? Like, all of you guys, like, some of you guys are fairly new to the business. Like, what stuff are you watching now?
Yeah.
That's good content to create. Like, hey, this is my first 30 days experience of life insurance. It's way harder than I thought. I mean, that's, like, literally, like, you could make a video, something like that. But talk about, like, documenting versus, like, creating, and if that makes sense.
So there's a time and place for it. So like right now it makes sense for you to be documenting because like you're actually like doing the stuff, like you're walking right now, like you're walking the walk. But wait, sorry, what was the first part?
Documenting versus creating.
Okay, yeah. So I guess would you consider documenting like teaching other people, or like creating, or is this like more creative?
Yeah, creating is like teaching a little bit, if that makes sense.
Okay, so more like tutorials.
Yeah.
Okay, so creating I would do like probably 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time, like for the people that want to dive deeper, document. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
not a lot of people want to just like watch a day in the life of like just a random kid, unless they know who you are and trust you.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna go watch like Joe Schmo day in the life. Like I don't care. So
Yeah.
you got to build like that desire for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that. How important is like building a personal brand like nowadays? Do you feel like?
Dude, it's the new wave, bro. Because I've been feeling like creatives is just like the new like wave of entrepreneurship. Because like now you can generally make money doing whatever you want. Like there's people selling like stupid cups like with like unicorns on them like full time. Like bro, like how do you even sell that? But they're good at what they do. But dude, it's just if you're not building a personal brand, then you're not getting an audience, you're not building any leverage. Nothing distinguishes you from someone working at Walmart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you have to like build that audience, build that following. Because then you doing so also forces you to become a better person along that. Because if you're not, then you're not gonna continue building an audience.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. It's kind of like
Yeah.
entrepreneurship's sick.
What's up,
Can I
bro?
ask something?
Yeah.
As far as
We should, yeah,
like,
give him the mic.
Nah,
Oh, we're
I think
good?
You can pick it up, yeah.
as far as building a personal brand, there's different directions I've seen agents go that are building agency. One, it's like, hey, I'm gonna flex my lifestyle. I'm gonna show
Yeah.
you my trips to Hawaii. And one's like, I'm gonna sit here in a suit and you're gonna see me work. Which one do you think is better and why?
That comes down to who you are as a person. Do you want to do you like to flex? Do you like to like live, like obviously you want to live that lifestyle, but like, do you actually care about Rolexes? Do you actually care about driving a Lamborghini? Like, do you care about like other people looking at you and being like, oh, he's sick? Or do you care about like the work ethic and like the work you put in?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, who are you?
Dan
Show
Bolton.
off who you are.
Dan Bolton said something really good. It's your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yeah.
So it's like who you put out yourself to be is who you're gonna bring in. If you're flexing Lamborghinis and Rolexes, you're gonna bring all these people in that might not care about anything else besides Rolexes and Lamborghinis. And guess what? If they see somebody else driving a Bentley or a whatever it is, and it's a little bit nicer than yours, they're probably gonna go to them. So it's like I think authenticity really speaks. And if, like, for so long, I was like, I want to be that guy. Like, literally, my mentor, I got recruited because of, like, it was like he was driving a McLaren and he was flexing it and like, oh, I got a Bentley and I have this huge house and I have like all this stuff. And it's like, dang, that's really sick. And I was like, that's how I get rich. But then I'm like, no, there's a whole, like, that's not me. Like, I'm not, you guys see me driving a Camry. Like, that's like, looks like it's like half run down and about to break down on the side of the road. Like, I don't, the stuff is cool, but like, what I care about more is like a genuine change in life, like your mindset, like you becoming a better person overall and being like having a wife. Like, some people preach against that, right? Like, and so I think I want to attract who I actually want to hang around, who I am is like, I want to put that into content because those people are going to come to me and the people who are not that are going to go away.
Yeah, that's true, because like at Grayson's event, it was definitely Grayson's people. At your event, definitely your people, and at Julian's event, it was definitely his people. Because like Julian, like, you know how he's like more like kind of shy, laid back, or he's just laid back.
Yeah.
His mastermind was the same exact way.
Yeah.
Everyone was just like chill. Like, no one was like crazy, like laughing or anything. It's just like a chill environment. So it's true. Like, just be honest on social media. Like, that's one thing that I try to do as well. Like, I'm an introvert. Like, I don't like to talk a lot. You know what I mean? I just don't. Like, I literally sat behind a computer screen for like the past 10 years. You know what I mean? So it's like social skills aren't really my strong suit.
Yeah.
It's fun. But like, it's important being honest with that, because then that's just something that you can overcome and share with your audience and teach them how you overcame it. Because then, like, other people struggling with the same thing that I struggle with. So it's like, if I can overcome it, then they can too. So.
Then you're really finding your track because
Yeah,
you go through the
100%.
same struggles.
Yeah.
Bro, it's
Yeah.
it's literally a hack. And that's like, this is like, I don't believe I have competitors. Like, I'm my own niche of one. Like, I literally, it's like, people could sell insurance. People could literally sell the same product line.
Yeah.
People could literally sell the same stuff and make the same content, but like, there's people that always talk and they're like, dude, like, you're different. Like, for some reason I like resonated with you more. And my message might be similar to somebody else, but it's like, I'm me, I have my experiences, and share your experiences personally. And with that, nobody can compete.
Yeah, you're one of one. As cringe as it sounds, it's true. You're the only you.
It's the entire thing too, like the DIG agency isn't rah-rah or Kool-Aid, like you guys said, everything's like real.
Yeah.
Everything's like, this is what it is,
Right.
this is what it's like, this is how you overcome it.
Right. And they're, what, one of the most respected groups?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, just most trusted. Creating good content, building a following. Yeah, let's just talk about this stuff. Like, I was thinking people's YouTube descriptions
Yeah.
can definitely get optimized to like get a lead magnet going.
Yeah.
To be able to contact agents, to be able to recruit. A good, like, in the description, even if you don't have a lead magnet, have something that's a way for people to reach out to you. The easiest, because people are going to be like looking at your stuff and like, dude, how do I find this guy? If you just say like, message me on IG in the description, it's so easy. It creates less friction to be able to get that stuff going.
I think there's actually a link you can create too, to where when they click the link, it sends them to your DMs. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
that'd be sauce for you guys.
I didn't know that.
Sure.
What are some other like social media things that you think would be good?
Don't get caught up in hashtags, because they really don't matter. That's one of the things like I see people do when they first get started. They go crazy with the hashtags, they don't matter.
It's like 100 hashtags.
Yeah, like, honestly, you're good with like 5. I wouldn't do more than 5. And also too, in YouTube, like, just write like a paragraph about what you're talking about and just include keywords. Like, don't make hashtags as well. Include it in your writing. So get better at copy.
Why? Does that help?
It helps the search engine.
Ooh.
That's all it is. It's like when people are looking like how to sell life insurance, and like you have like, today I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to sell life insurance. I work for yada yada, and like you could use like DIG or something, I don't know. But you could use other things that other people could be searching for, and it like routes to your video in a way. So it's like a little web that you can create.
I like that.
A little bubble in your description.
I need to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, content's simple, man. Like, keep it simple. People get too overwhelmed because they think it's so, like, intricate, and it kind of is, but when you break it down, it's just, all you're doing is helping other people at the end of the day. So if that content looks like you taking a video and then you putting text over it, that's what it is. If it's you actually just talking to the camera, like with your iPhone, driving down the road, that's what it is. Like, don't overthink it, especially for you guys' niche. No one cares about like high quality like content, like what mics you shooting with, you know.
Yeah.
As long as it sounds good.
And if
looks
they
good.
do, it's like, are those the people that you're
Yeah.
trying to attract anyways?
Yeah, exactly.
How important are thumbnails?
For YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I was watching a video the other day, and it was saying like you spend 10 plus hours on the actual video, like the meat of the content, but you're gonna package it up in like a Walmart brand. It makes no sense. You know what I mean? Like you want the value of the video to like match the value of the thumbnail. So like spend time on the thumbnail. And for you guys, that just means like maybe spend money on someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's important. It's the first thing they see in like their feed. Like, you know, like you have to like stand out from
Yeah. So one thing that really helped me create content in this shift is I don't make a video unless I have a really good title and thumbnail idea. So it's like
start with that.
you start with that. A lot of people start with the video and then create you got to work front to back.
Right.
So like when I'm interviewing somebody, I don't interview them unless I have a title in mind.
Right.
Like it's just like at least a title, because then I know what direction to go with this, right? So like Tina, when I interviewed her, I was like single mom to something, like single mom to Cell 6 policy, single mom, something like that. And it's like, okay, boom, now I can interview her. Because then it's like I open it up, strong intro. This single mom did this. It's like, dude, like this, it's stuff like that. So like title is the most important. So like whenever I actually just like have a huge list of just titles that I think would be really good or I really like, and then I just make a video about that.
Right, and that's something that's helped me with that short form content is like when you're scrolling, you don't get that thumbnail or that title. So like your title that you would put on YouTube, pretty much just frame it in a way for like a hook on Instagram. So like that's something that's really helped me like with my short form content, like captivate their attention right away. So just get that to add.
That's really good. I like that.
Yeah, because a lot of people just start off their video with like straight up the value, where it's like you gotta start with the hook, that like rise up to the value, like what it's gonna actually do for you, and then you hit them with the value, and then like maybe a call to action at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you just give throughout the whole time, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like that. Sweet.
Good. Yes. Good. Any questions?
How many posts per week when you're starting out? Like how
Whatever you
important
can
is
do
that?
consistently for a long period of time.
Because I'll like, and it's obviously easier to
Yeah.
post short form content,
Yeah.
but it's like, I've heard people say like when you're starting, it's like every day you need to be posting something if you want to create like a following.
Yeah.
I disagree.
I disagree too. Like I know what they're.
But regardless, if we could polish like a couple, polish up just like a quick little script
What's your
to get that going.
What's your normal?
Okay, so this is after I got the ASAP. After I got out of banking and accounting. Okay, Austin. So since this is same day level coverage like you wanted, what most people do is they want to make sure that their wife is protected, as soon as possible. So if this policy were to start within the next few business days, if you were approved, would that take any fruit off the table?
No.
Okay, great. So what's gonna happen is that, and then we submit the approval. Okay, great, Austin, it looks like you have been approved, then I'll do the 2 promise close, and I'll be like, okay, and then the next steps are, within the next few business days, it just depends on, American Angle's issuing process, you're actually going to see the premium of $79.75 come out of your account, and it's literally going to say, American Amicable $79.78. Once when you see that, by federal law, that means you are insured. Okay, so don't die prior to that, Austin. Give them a lot into the comment. Right? So don't die before that, but once when you see that, that effectively means your wife is protected under federal law. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, good deal. All right, then,
And who else do you know that might benefit from something like this?
family plan?
And now we're gonna get your husband protected.
Who's that one guy that got like 6 referrals?
Luis. We need Luis to do a training.
Yeah, for sure, because like the free lead program, it's like 18%, soon to be 25% of their businesses.
Dude, I don't know how, bro.
Well, he said just by simply asking.
Which
He said when they just simply made everybody ask, it went up significantly.
I
So it's like asking, like when you get beneficiary, you get, you know, contingent beneficiaries, the more you get, those are all referrals.
Would it make sense to, like, not even do full underwriting? Like, say, like, yeah, like, we're interested, but the person's not here, because it's kind of hard to medically underwrite someone if they're not there, right? So maybe even just providing them just quick quotes, like, you know, just putting in their age. Okay, do they have any, you know, general health history? Okay, Johnny, so this is like kind of the range he would be looking at for this amount of money. Do you think that'd be feasible for him? Okay, great. How do I contact him? Or don't even say that's okay, his number. Like, and then just like kind of go from there. And then when you get them on the phone, obviously do like a thorough underwriting. Right? We don't want to be, but I think even just giving them like a rough range.
you don't just submit the business.
You know, just right. Sometimes I do. I do like a it's not like a blind ram, but sometimes.
I didn't see
They're just on vitamins. They're going family benefit.
For what?
I don't know. It's a lifestyle, okay?
It's a way of life.
It's just some simple vitamins.
Yeah, but I think it's because who's the gentleman at Digital VGA? Something Anthony Payton or Patton?
Oh yeah, Anthony Patton.
Yeah, but he said something interesting when he was dialing. Like, he's not afraid to give people quotes if like they have to go. He's like, yeah, because a lot of times they'll actually call you back, like if they're semi-serious.
Did you listen to that in my interview with him?
No, I watched the great interview, by the way, but no, I watched some of his content. He was just like, it was like a long form video.
Block him.
What's that?
He's a competitor. No, I'm just kidding.
But my point is that obviously, we don't want to be quote takers, but if you've already done business with someone, there's trust to an extent.
Max has become a quoter, not a closer.
I mean, we're just toolkits now, but I think it's not a terrible idea. I don't know. I want to get your guys' thoughts on it, but the idea is we can get more business from one lead. That's gonna skyrocket.
100%. I mean, it's literally just instant profit and more profit for you. So it makes sense to do that.
Your $10 lead just turned into, you know, what I mean, like think about how much
Yeah.
more money we can make from
Plus
our
leads.
cost of leads are gonna go.
And they're so much stickier. Cause like,
Of course.
if you got a policy and you refer to me, I'm gonna keep my policy. Cause otherwise I don't feel bad for you.
Yeah, but don't like. I remember writing up this whole house. I wrote $8 grand on this house. I was like, we're gonna get your grandchildren. Oh yeah, we're gonna get you. Oh yeah, but your brother, we're gonna get him. And then oh yeah, your 2 daughters, we're gonna get them. And I wrote $8 grand on the house, and they all charged back first premium. Well, it all came out of one bank.
Was this a final expense?
Insufficient funds.
What were they
Was it mortgage protection?
It was a Razor Ridge lead.
Kick them in the nuts.
I was like, oh, bro, like, yeah, we're writing everybody.
What did Duford say his percentage went up after asking for referrals?
10 to 18.
10 to 18.
So, I mean, it's
8%, like, that's huge.
8% on total business. That's 80 grand a month.
It's almost 100%. He almost doubled it.
Yeah, he almost doubled. But an extra 8% is like, dude, he literally went from, he literally is probably doing like 80,000 a month in referral business.
Yeah, and if you guys have a mutual bundle contract, like asking if they want to like protect their grandkids, like that's an extra $20 in premium a month. If they have 2 kids.
Yeah.
And in-
it's a very quick app too.
And accidental policy.
So
Can
We have to have help for that.
Can we go over that one of these days, like all the riders and the additions and like the benefits and all of that stuff? Because I was never taught that, and I don't even talk about that at all.
Just riders and like product.
None of it, like all the
Product
extras,
knowledge?
like accidental benefits that come here and there. Like,
Guaranteed insurability rider.
yeah, I don't know what any of that. Like I've never sold any of that.
well, for each product.
Long-term care rider?
Well, not so long ago, confined care, so confined nursing home rider, chronic illness, terminal illness.
Is the only one?
Which
we
ones
can
are the ones
purchase
you sell?
accidental?
That you're actually upselling.
Terminal.
Terminal, okay.
So for final
This stuff, I'm like horrible handwriting.
typically terminal illness,
Okay.
which is not nothing. And then sometimes there's like a nurse, like a confined nursing home.
Honestly, yeah, I should
Set of face.
I should create a product course in the in the community.
I mean, and also like certain carriers will offer certain benefits.
So go through Sequoia.
Sequoia. Royal Neighbors has something.
Sequoia without the
They're
business
actually
partner.
Switching it to something very similar to Sequoia. There's another one out there.
Sequoia's taking over.
Yeah, or something along the lines of it. There's Legacy Assurance with Senior Life.
Great product.
Great product.
Lincoln Heritage has Golden Memorial.
Yeah, but who's writing Lincoln Heritage? I mean, we're replacing those.
Gonzalo literally like when we hopped on the Zoom, he's like, "Oh yeah, AAL policies, replacing them every time."
When you like sell or put grandkids as riders, does that mean that you're buying them a separate policy, or is it kind of like a?
That if it's a rider, it's a rider. Like it's an additional to what they have. So if they lose the policy, they're gone.
So it's like.
But it's better. It's better to get no.
No.
Wait.
Wait, what was the question?
Do you know what survivorship is?
It's whoever dies first.
Yeah, it's pretty much two insured under one policy. Pretty much impossible to have that on final expense. That's like fully underwritten.
But if they do a grandchildren rider, that's a great question. Because if the grandparent's probably gonna die soon.
It doesn't matter like if you write prosperity or not. Just like ask like, oh, by the way, Miss Betty, I'm so sorry I forgot to ask you. Do you have grandkids?
Yeah,
Like they actually just came out with this new program here.
No, but he's talking about the grandchildren rider.
Oh, the specific right.
I would say write a different policy.
I need to get clarification on that, but I don't know.
With AMAM, it's like you can like click. It's the same policy, and you can like click like how many grandkids you want covered on there. Like then you enter their information, obviously, but it's the same policy.
I would just do Move anyway.
Make
Move's
it
a better.
grandchildren.
It's a better policy.
Is anybody selling accidental? Is that a thing?
Not really.
You have to have
You
a
can.
policy.
That's
You could, but it's hard to do final expense, people.
people care more
Right,
about.
okay.
It's always good to ask, but it's
So if you're not
it's a
resident,
big
you're
selling point.
But yeah, because like accidental policies, they gotta be 60, right? It expires at 60.
No, so the cutoff age is typically 60, but it will cover them up till age 8.
Yeah, so like most of our clients are over 60.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
state contingent. I mean, it's a great thing to add. If it's accidental, I typically just put the accidental death benefit rider on the policy,
Yeah.
right? I'm not writing a separate accidental. If someone's young enough, like if they're in their 40s, they do a lot of driving.
Max, it's gonna be like $10 more, maybe.
These are things though, like that. Honestly, like unless you're like crushing it, don't worry about it.
It doesn't.
It's extra complicated stuff. Like it doesn't.
But I think this would be a good school module, like a good school course to be able to put in is the riders, product knowledge. I think I'm gonna add the set and meet expectations,
Riders have
that
some-
stuff.
Yeah,
Rider, yeah, how to sell them.
they're good, but like, I mean, just if you want to add something extra, just write Move policies on the grandkids.
Yeah.
They're so easy, I'm telling you, and it's like you write 2 of them, it's like an extra $20 a month, whatever. But like the goal is too. It's not even a lot of premium. It increases persistency. If you're the insurance agent for their entire family,
You're giving them more value.
if you're the insurance agent for their entire family, they're less likely to cancel like just that one final expense policy. See what I'm saying? It's like you're their insurance agent for the entire family.
I don't know how.
So it's like the more heads you get in the household, typically the better.
Is it like, is this a policy they keep for life? Like, can it?
Yeah, Max, can you explain?
Children's whole life.
Yeah.
Okay, so Children's Whole Life is a simplified issue whole life product for people ages from 0 to 17. Why? Because once you're 17, you're no longer a child. So the main selling point of this is that it's very, very cheap to get a lot of coverage, right? There's only 2 health questions, right? And then you could actually run multiple grandchildren on one application. There's the only real information you need is date of birth, social, and then the owner's date of birth, social, and banking. So it's a very quick app because you could take, like, say if there's 4 grandchildren, you could write like 4 of those, up to actually more than that, on one. And the main selling point is, especially if someone isn't healthy, is that's going to come with something called a guaranteed insurability rider. So what a guaranteed insurability rider is that they are allowed to increase their coverage up to 5 times in the lifetime of the policy. It doubles on itself upon 10 different triggering events. So once when they graduate middle school, once when they graduate high school, once when they get married, once they have their first child, they are allowed to actually call Mutual of Omaha and double the coverage, and they will only charge them at attained age, right? So what does that mean? So say if Harry, Harry's mother took out guaranteed insurability children's whole life rider on him, and then he gets diagnosed with cancer, he only has $20,000 in coverage. He could get 40,000, 80,000, and then eventually, 120,000. He could double it up to 5 times. Now they're obviously going to charge him for that, but he does not have to go through underwriting. So if you talk to someone that's had some major health complications, that means a big deal to them, right?
You're like putting a shield.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Okay.
and then you just sell it however you want, but it's like it's kind of challenging for us to find you quality coverage, Harry, because of our health history, right? So what this policy is going to do for you, Harry, is it's actually going to give the gift of your grandchildren or your children.
The greatest gift that God's ever given.
That's not having to talk to an insurance broker. Don't be authentic, but the idea is like they just giving the gift of not never have to go through underwriting again.
Besides buying like a full that's probably the best whole product that you can have.
I didn't even know about
As
that.
a child in the rest of your life.
Do you get the increased commission?
No, so the commissions on children's whole life are kind of trash. They're not that great.
Just to make it
It's
sticky.
not, yeah, the
But, like,
point's
you
not
get-
to make a bunch of money.
You
The
get like
point's
$10
to-
a month. I mean, that's not bad. It's like maybe like
Netflix.
like $700.
Yeah. And the goal's not to like make a bunch of money on them. The goal's to like make persistency better.
And increase app count so you look like a G.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's
Okay.
I remember your app count at SWAT used to be wild.
Yeah.
50 accidentals.
You can get it done in 20
Us,
minutes actually.
Max would be at like 20 apps for the week and be at like 7K.
Hey,
3K, 17 apps.
Closing ratio 650%.
well, like, I don't know if you do or not, but I usually offer it to all my clients. Like most of the people I talk to usually like to put some coverage on their grandkids because there's these new programs that came out like last year. And they're actually super cheap and inexpensive, and they get a lot of coverage, and it guarantees insurability for the rest of your grandkid's life.
Oh wait,
Would
there's
that
more.
would that be something that you would like to look into? It's typically only around like $10 a month.
Do they put themselves as the beneficiaries?
Typically, yes.
Yeah.
But here's okay. So another important thing is that just for legality purposes. Now I don't know if this is the same for final expense. This would be a good David question. Is that the child's total death benefit on their life cannot exceed the parents? Why?
Ever?
Because they're not for at the age of at the time of the app. So for example, I can't like it's. This is typically only for like large IUL cases, but like say if I only have like 10,000 on me, then I like take out like a $1 million policy on my child. They're gonna say like, why is this guy putting $1 million whole life on his child? Because he might go missing. That stuff does happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that'd be a really interesting conversation to have. I think for children's whole life, not that big of a deal, but they do want to see some form of coverage on the actual parent because it just looks suspicious.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
Like, why is there like okay? There's 150,000 in death benefit for these kids.
You're just trying to get rich off this little kid?
Yeah, it's
Well,
weird.
Dude, it happens, right? So
It's sick.
Johnny, let's confirm that with David and what the legalities are for that, just so underwriters aren't like receiving cases, so you guys
Yeah.
have enough coverage.